Podcast Network. This is the Lifestyle Live Podcast.
Faces you know and a team you can trust. Stories that form your heart. Lifestyle Live. Lifestyle Live. Lifestyle Live.
Heartland Film is proud to present the world premiere and screening of episode 1 of the upcoming ESPN Plus original series Full Court Press at Newfields Monday night. The new series chronicles the ongoing journeys of some of the top college women's basketball stars, including Indiana Fever Garden superstar Caitlin Clark. And joining me now is director of the series, Kristen Lappas. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is so fun.
Yeah, this is one of those things that is coming at the exact right time. And I have no doubt that that was planned on your part in following these specific women. I do want to mention you also followed senior from South Carolina, Kamilla Cardoso, who is obviously now playing for the Chicago Sky, and sophomore UCLA guard Kiki Rice, who is a fantastic player as well. What was the reason that you followed these three women this last season?
Yeah, it's a great question because obviously, you know, the women's game has so many superstars right now that it is like hard to choose which three athletes you're going to take that chance on because you don't know where the season's going to lead these three people, right?
Yeah.
It all started, obviously, the impetus was Caitlin Clark. She had developed a relationship with Peyton Manning, and he is the owner of and founder of Omaha Productions. And so Omaha Productions came to the company that I work for, Words and Pictures, and they, you know, said we wanted to do this series. We have Caitlin on board, but who are these other two players going to be? And, you know, I've worked in the women's college basketball world for a while, so I kind of helped in the casting, so to speak, of the other two women. But what was really important to me was that we had three really unique and diverse characters that had different stakes and were at different points in their careers so that it could really, like, they could complement one another. And it wasn't telling the same exact story three times over. So, for example, as you mentioned, Kamilla Cardoso, senior 6'7" center for South Carolina, born and raised in Montes Claros, Brazil. Her mom owned a spice stand, made her living on the streets of Brazil as a single parent. And so Camilla's whole thing was like, I want to come to America to make a better life for my family and eventually get to the WNBA and, you know, make money playing this game that I love. And so, like, her stakes very, very different from Caitlin Clark. Kiki Rice was the up and coming, kind of represents the next generation. She's a sophomore. She's still young. She kind of has like the biggest years of her career ahead of her. And she was navigating different challenges. And so I think it was really important to just pick very unique and diverse characters as we were kind of looking to who to feature.
Listen, I don't want to shade anyone. I grew up watching women's college basketball. Diana Taurasi is my favorite basketball player of all time, men or women. It doesn't matter. But the popularity of the women's game right now is probably the highest it's ever been. What was it like for you following these three women this last season through a time where it was the forefront of sports conversation and pop culture conversation?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because at the beginning of the season, when we first pitched this, we obviously knew that this season was going to be, you know, pivotal and groundbreaking. But I think it exceeded all of our expectations. I'm being totally honest. Like, nobody could have predicted what this thing became between the ratings and the fans, and that, like you said, it kind of made its way into popular culture. And we kind of caught lightning in a bottle. You know, I'd love to take credit for the fact that, like, I've been someone who's, you know, covered women's sports my whole career. So I've always been somebody that finds these women fascinating. But it was really, really amazing to be a part of this groundbreaking season and really be kind of one of the only docuseries to be kind of following what is going on in this moment, how it's changing, and be kind of on the ground to witness that was an amazing, kind of honestly like a career changing experience for me.
How giddy were you to get South Carolina and Iowa in the championship game? I mean, at that point, you're like, well, that writes itself.
I was going to say, we had the script, we handed it to the referees. No, it was amazing. Honestly, you know, Dawn Staley told us in October that she didn't think this team, they were very young. They were very inexperienced. They lost their entire starting five after last season. And so she just didn't know what was going to happen this year. And so to get that conversation with her in October where she was like, I have no idea, but like, come along and follow us and see what happens. And then for them to end up winning a national championship and having an undefeated season was unbelievable. And then, just Caitlin Clark, like, between the breaking of the records throughout the season, the postseason, her journey and decision to declare for the WNBA draft, and our final shoot with her, which was in Indianapolis last week. We kind of have this scene that kind of puts a bow on the entire series, where she's driving over to the facility and walking in for her first day with the Indiana Fever, which was really cool.
We're excited to see her first game in a Fever uniform as well. It's hard not to focus on her, obviously, but one of the fun things that I love about this series, I'm excited to watch it, is for so long we've done a lot of docuseries or documentaries on the game of women's basketball, but to be able to find characters. Do you think that's what's carried that game to the next level, where we now can attach ourselves to these athletes in a different way?
I really do. I think storytelling is key whenever you're trying to grow a sport. We just weren't telling these stories. There were amazing stories and amazing athletes, as you said, from generations ago. And we're finally kind of tapping in and telling those stories. And I think it makes a huge difference, because when you know about a person, where a person comes from and their personal life and kind of what they're enduring, you just want to root for them even more. And so for me, yes, like having a series grounded in 3 people makes it so much more compelling and just makes you want to root for these teams and these athletes.
Yeah, well, we have a rooting interest here in Indianapolis. And Kristen, thank you so much for putting this together and working with everyone to make this happen. We're excited to watch it. The original series, again, called Full Court Press. It's going to be on ESPN Plus, the world premiere of episode 1 at Newfields Monday night. Kristen, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Lifestyle Live. Lifestyle Live.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Lifestyle Live Podcast. Thank you for listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And connect for even more on Facebook and at lifestylelive.tv.
Faces you know and a team you can trust. Stories that form your heart. Life.